How many of you are in quarantine? Me too. But the question is, where am I and how did I get here? My world was flipped upside down just like almost everybody else's. So wherever you are, I hope you're having a fantastic day. But right now, I'm going to tell you the story of how I got to where I am now. 2 weeks ago, we were in a tiny little island called Bohol. We went on a road trip, we rented a motorbike. As we were road biking around, we met a man at the beginning of a waterfall and he said, "Oh, it's very good that you arrived today because everything's gonna be shut tomorrow." And we found out that lockdown starts on Saturday. So what we ended up doing was booking a flight so that we could get ourselves to Bangkok as soon as possible. But unfortunately, it wasn't as soon as we should have made it. So we made a calculation error, my fault. And we booked a flight from Bohol to Manila, Manila to Bangkok. But our flight from Bohol to Manila was cancelled. So what did we do? We panicked a little bit. We rode our bike as fast as we could to the airport. As soon as we got to the airport, we got up to the counter and we said, "Hey, our flight's been cancelled. What can we do?" And she said, "All of our flights for the day are full, but we can put you on a wait list." And this is the only airport on the island. So we're kind of in a bit of a predicament. The wait list was good, except for the fact that we were the 23rd and 24th ones on the list. And so it was a very low chance that we were gonna make any of those flights. We eventually agreed to go check out the ferry terminal. Everybody wanted to get off this island so that they could get themselves to Cebu. Cebu is a city on a bigger island and they have international flights and several more domestic flights. But what was happening was that day was the last day for any air, sea, or land travel domestically.
Will you go at one?
Okay. How long is the ferry?
2 hours. One is okay. Can you do at one, please? Uh-oh. That's okay, that's okay. 11:40 is okay. So, oh my God. We're gonna leave the bike. We're gonna lose her night at the hotel.
It's fine, it's only 16 euros.
Yeah.
I kid you not, it was 10:20 when we got these. And we got ourselves onto that boat. So fast forward 2.5 hours later, we arrive in Cebu. We quickly get a taxi to the airport and there are hundreds of people with the exact same problem. We waited in several lines.
Oh my gosh, this has been absolutely insane. So I haven't posted in a long time because it has been absolute chaos over here. So much disorganization.
We went to Cebu Pacific Air. So we get into the office, we asked the lady, we really need to just make sure that we can get to Manila tonight so that we can get our flight to Bangkok tomorrow so we can start our journey back home. And the lady said, "Oh, let me just look at our system, blah, blah, blah." She looked at it. She looked at her colleague. She looked at us and then she got on the phone. And Juan Pablo and I were kind of like, "What's going on?" And she looked at us and she whispered, "They've just opened up a flight."
To the Cebu airport and we literally just got like a flight that just opened up.
And what we eventually found out was that this flight that had miraculously opened up was actually a recovery flight. Basically had to make sure this flight went out because there was hundreds of people scheduled to be on this flight.
Madness, absolute madness.
But we're finally boarding the flight.
Where are we?
We landed in Manila, we got a hotel, we were exhausted, but it was fine. We woke up in Manila. On the first day of their lockdown. The airport was empty. We got to Bangkok, no problem. And Juan Pablo was due to fly out on the 18th. And one of our main focuses was to get me on an earlier flight.
Hey guys, from Bangkok, Thailand. Just wanted to give a quick update. I am currently waiting for a flight back home to Lisbon. It's been a bit difficult because of all the cancellations and the way governments are taking precautions and the way people are reacting to things. So I think cutting my trip short by a few weeks was the best decision I could have made, just because I can speak the language in Portugal, I can cook at home, and I don't have a lot of money. I'm an English teacher, so let's be realistic here. So my flight leaves on Sunday. I'm here a little bit alone because Juan Pablo's in London and he's waiting for his flight back to Lisbon, but I'll catch up to him in a few days.
I got an email that said my flight had been cancelled. And I finally got through to Victor. I got rerouted. So the flight was due to go from Bangkok, Helsinki, Helsinki, London, London, Lisbon. That was good. The night before, I checked the status of the flight, I checked everything, and I checked my email. I found an email and it read that one of the flights that I was booked on was overbooked. What that meant for me was that the next day I was going to get up very, very early and get myself to the airport. It's really early in the morning. I couldn't sleep much because I'm so nervous for this flight. I've never been so nervous for a flight. I have 3 to get home to Lisbon, and I don't know if they're going to let me get through all of them. I am an EU resident and a Canadian citizen, but I don't know if my Spanish residency will let me into Portugal, because I keep hearing all these crazy stories and stuff like that. So I'm a little bit nervous. But actually vlogging is, between you and me, something that keeps me sane because it feels like I'm talking to somebody. Get to the airport, there's a massive line outside for temperature checks. Now this is something that we had seen all through the Philippines, coming in from the Philippines to Bangkok, temperature checks. Once I got through, I waited in line for the check-in counter. Got to my turn, I went up to the check-in counter, put my bag on the, what is it called? A belt, I guess? Put my bag on the belt, I handed over my Canadian passport, the lady checked everything, and she said, "You're going to Lisbon?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Do you live there?" And I said, "Yes." Very short answers. And she said, "Okay, I need a citizen card. I need proof." And I thought, oh crap. I have Spanish residency because of Juan Pablo. So I handed that over and she looked at it for a while and she said, "What is this date?" And I said, "That's the expiration date." And she said, "Okay, that's not the issue date." I said, "No." She said, "Okay, just one moment." So she went over to her supervisor and I saw this whole thing down. After many anxious minutes passing, I could kind of tell that they didn't really know what this card was and that they couldn't speak Spanish because the card is in Spanish. And I thought, oh my gosh, what if I cannot get on this flight because of this? And because Spain is considered one of the hotspots and a lot of countries are restricting people coming and going from Spain and whatnot. So I thought, oh my goodness, what if because my residency card is from Spain, I won't be able to get in? But I was trying to keep calm. I had my house contract, I had work contracts, I should be okay. So she came back and she did some typing. She looked at me, I'm like, oh my God, just tell me, can I get on this flight? She said, "Okay, here you go." I could relax. You could really see how serious people were taking this. Bangkok to Helsinki, no problem. Get to Helsinki airport, everything closed. Helsinki, London, virtually nobody on the flight. Last stretch, I'm going home. The things I'm most excited about are Juan Pablo and Bella and cooking my own food. I love eating while I'm traveling, but my stomach is so stupidly delicate. I can't wait. One more flight. So at this point, I had been traveling for many hours and I was just quite anxious to get home. Just coming in, seeing Lisbon through the window, I just felt a massive weight off my shoulders. Once I walked up those steps and I saw Bella, she peed everywhere. She was so excited. I hadn't seen her in about a month. I just knew I'd made the right decision. No amount of money, worry, travel experiences could have been traded for knowing that I was home safe. I'm making a big guess that you're probably self-quarantining, or you're part of the people who are working so hard for the situation, and you're part of the people that are driving society right now. So whatever situation you're in, I just want to say thank you, because whatever you're doing, I'm sure you're helping. Follow me on Instagram, and if you want to see more non-COVID related videos coming up, make sure you hit subscribe and the little bell so you can get a notification. Until the next one, my friends, take care, stay healthy, stay positive, stay creative.